The digital portfolio, called ePortfolio in PIFLE, is an alternative assessment procedure that will allow you and your tutor or professor to track and assess your learning. Let's listen to Professor Edgar Picón, who is going to tell us a little bit more about it.
Okay, about the ePortfolio in PIFLE. What is the ePortfolio in PIFLE? First of all, the ePortfolio is an assessment portfolio whose theoretical support has been taken from authors in the American school, and specifically O'Malley and Valdez 1996. According to them, an assessment portfolio needs to have three main elements. Number one is they need to include student samples of their work that can be, for example, pieces of writing or recording, video recording, or any other type of, let's say, photographs that can show their improvement and, in general terms, their process in terms of performance of students' communicative competence. The second important element is it needs to include self-assessment. So hopefully in the ePortfolio, students will self-assess at least once, but it could be more than once throughout the process. Now, the self-assessment of students needs to be supported, and it is supported in the ePortfolio of PIFLE on clear stated criteria. That's the third element that needs to be present in the assessment portfolio. This criteria for portfolio in PIFLE is stated in rubrics, which are the formats, assessment formats that are provided on the platform. And there is a fourth element, which includes a dialogue between the students and the teacher. And I believe it's a fourth important element because it's not only a student self-assessment that is taken into account, but at the end, the final grade is given after there is a conversation between the teacher and the instructor. The ePortfolio is the procedure that articulates the whole system that includes not only tasks but also a final exam and a workshop called the EGAP workshop. So the portfolio, besides articulating those different procedures along the process, provides support for formative assessment before summative assessment takes place. That is what some authors call assessment for learning. And finally, the assessment portfolio is important because it provides also space for students to develop their autonomy and to exercise their autonomy in terms of planning, monitoring, and self-evaluating their own learning along the process. The students are provided support by the tutors along the process for the creation of students' portfolios. The tutors are the ones that will determine the mandatory samples of evidence and the extra samples of evidence. Mandatory samples of evidence can include subtasks and activities in the SCORM packages included in the platform, and also the main activities which are going to be evaluated and graded. Extra samples of students' work can include pieces of writing that teachers haven't necessarily told them to create, or even pieces of recordings that they consider meaningful for their creation of their main tasks. For the procedure to be successful, there are three main moments. The first moment regards the organization of the portfolio. At that point, tutors need to be very clear with the students about the ways they expect their students to organize the material in their portfolios and the places where they have to submit them. In a second moment, it is the process. Students hopefully will understand, take a look at the rubrics and understand the criteria. So don't wait until the last time to take a look at the criteria, because it needs to be clear for the students. So at that process, again, It is very important that students and tutors communicate based on the rubrics they have on the platform. And finally, when the moment comes for the assessment and grading, the tutors again need to plan their conversations, dialogue with the students, or how they want those communications with them to take place in advance, so that at the moment of negotiating grades, everything is clear. That's basically what teachers, tutors, and students need to do for the process to be successful.